Simon and gentlemen, guys, welcome back to We Happy Few. This is chapter 71. When we last left off, we were in the broadcast tower. We just seen Jack's last tape. Find out that Margaret isn't our daughter. She's Jack's daughter. That we were actually the ones who got Margaret discovered and killed. And now we're going to play Jack's last tape to the public. Then we're going to go from there. We might be at the end of the game, or we might just be at the end of the act. I don't really know yet, but we're going to find out.
He's not going away.
They've cut the power. The bastards.
There's an emergency, one of those wheelie power thingamabobs.
Wheelie power thingamabobs. I love the technical terms. Seems like I'm gonna have a big fight here because there is I don't think I have any more syringes. There is there we go. There is poppers up here. So I'm sure I'm going to have to fight some bobbies.
You're on air. The Bobby Popper. More of them.
Going away.
That was a good strike.
He's not going away.
The Bobby Popper. More of them.
For God, for
I'm
Harry,
afraid we've come to the
and
end of our
St.
time.
George.
But we're running out of power.
Ah.
Do you hear me? We've come to the end of our time. The food's run out.
Sorry you had to see that.
We're all going to starve to death. We have to stop taking
Someone's
your
coming
glory.
through the popper.
Black dog.
Stop. Stop it.
Too bad there's not a way to disable these fucking things.
That's the
Come
one.
on.
Watch out, someone's coming. We're running out of power. Are
I'm
you
afraid we've come to the
sure
end of our
this is
time.
the only way?
We've come to the end of our time. 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 We've come to the end of our time.
We're running out of power.
I'm sure it's going to make it. I'm not going to worry about that too much.
Guess walking out the front door's out of the question.
Good thing I made you get that float.
Let's get out of here.
What do we do now?
We say goodbye.
To who?
I'm not really your daughter,
I know that,
and I'm not really here.
but
I'm a lie too.
we've been together so many years.
You don't think having an invisible friend is a wee bit babyish for a man who's been to war?
We can hide in the train station till it all blows over.
Now that you've put that on the telly, I think it's time you put away childish things.
You're right. You're always right. Goodbye, Margaret.
Hey! You bastards! Look up! It's Ollie Starkey! Wake up, you damn sheep!
He gets shot down, I swear to God.
I never liked you! Or you! That's right, you as well, pal! It's not a lovely day for it. It's a fucking terrible day for it. Lovely day for fucking war anyway. Fuck the law, you
Oh my god.
bastards. I'm going
I love Ollie.
home.
Best character. Epilogue.
Are you all right, sir?
I'd forgotten just how heinous a person I am.
Well, the truth is not for everyone, sir. You see, some people find they are stronger than they ever supposed. Some people can let go of the confabulations that have comforted them. Some make choices that surprise even themselves.
Your food's run out. You have to stop taking your joy. Stop.
But perhaps these people are not you. Are you sure you don't wish to forget? And go back?
I was happy before, wasn't I?
Huh. That's a big decision. We're gonna remember.
Are you really a constable?
I patrol the boundaries. Come on, sir. Once you're out there, you'll know what to do.
It's our last decision of the game. Alright, so, oof. There's a lot to take in there. Definitely a lot. I'm gonna kind of talk about this in 3 different segments then, and then we'll look at it as a whole. So I think firstly, Act 1. Act 1 was alright. There was definitely, I don't know. It was a good introduction. I definitely think that, like, to start with Act 1 was, it was much needed. You definitely couldn't start with Act 2 or Act 3. Act 1 helped you kind of learn, you know, what is Wellington Wells and what is the civilization we're looking at, and, you know, how do you work in this civilization? How do you conform in this civilization? How do you progress and stuff? Story-wise, I mean, Arthur's story was a good story. I don't like him as a character, but it was definitely a good story. The fact that he lived in denial of what happened that day with the Germans, and he had to confront himself about that. Like I said, as you come to see, he's just a shitty character. Like, shitty person, I should say. But, story-wise, his story's pretty good. So Sally's, if we're looking at Act 2, I didn't like it at first, to tell you the truth. I hate anything that's time constraint. That's an open world time constraint. And it goes back to the topic I was going with before, where I never liked Majora's Mask as much as I did for, like, The Legend of Zelda. And the reason being is because you're always under constant pressure of time in an open world game where you're just, like, you know, the world is supposed to be at your fingertips, but in that game you only have 3 days, and then, you know, when the 3rd day hits, you have to reset time. Well, this is no different. You only have, like, a limited amount of time before you have to get back to Gwen. And it would have been okay if there was an immediate way back to the house, but to make it even worse, you had to take an access tunnel and then run to the house. And it was only a minute or 2 minute run, but still, it was just kind of annoying, right? Story-wise, her story was okay. I wasn't, like, sold over it. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was alright. Act 3. Right off the bat, I kind of figured Act 3 would be interesting, because Ollie's not a character... not a conventional character. He's not someone that, you know, you pick up and you play a whole game as, you know what I mean? So it was kind of interesting that the game was like, here, let's explore Ollie Starkey. And like I said, right off the hop, I was really intrigued. I really wanted to learn what his story was, you know, what we were going to do. And as we were playing through it, I definitely enjoyed it the most. And it's hard to say that I'm biasly, because I mean, by the time we got to Ollie Starkey, I was already like 30 plus hours in, right? So I want to say that I have a good understanding of how this game works, and good understanding of mechanics, what to do, what not to do. But even then, still, there were certain things that weren't the greatest about Ollie's story, don't get me wrong, or Ollie's playthrough, I should say. Like, for example, the whole conforming in society thing was super hard until you get the that perk where he doesn't throw up anymore after you take joy. Him being a slower character kind of sucks too, but you learn to play with it, right? Him having really no stealth skills kind of sucked, as you know, I'm a stealth person, but again, you learn to play with it. But his story overall was probably my favorite. It was the deepest, I would think, by far. It was the most intriguing. I just generally liked it. So out of all three, I have to say Act 1 was pretty good, Act 2 was okay, and Act 3 was definitely my favorite. Now, as the game as a whole, that's a hard one. The game is good, don't get me wrong. When I first heard of the game, first seen the ideas and stuff, I was thinking that this game was going to be like Fallout, but in its own world. And what I mean by that is that, like, you know, the Garden District is the wasteland, and you know, you just go out and do whatever. Like, if you've played Fallout before, you know that basically you can do whatever you want. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, oh wait, like, you have to come here and do this, or oh, you're under time pressure, or like, oh, there's boundaries. Like, no. With Fallout, you do whatever you want, right? So I was thinking it was going to be like that. When we started playing and we're under zone constrictions, meaning that we had to stay in the Garden District at the beginning and then only in Maidenholm and so on and so forth, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. When we beat the game as Arthur, I was definitely surprised, but when Act 2 popped up, I was even more surprised. This doesn't seem like a game that you could really do acts with, or different telling of stories, you know what I mean? Especially for being an open world RPG style game. However, they did a really good job with it, all things considered. There was definitely discrepancies along the way for sure. Like, for example, the stories don't quite line up. And I think the most prevalent thing about that was when we played as Sally, and we've seen the differences between Sally's interactions with Arthur and Arthur's interactions with Sally. I think if they were to do something like this, they definitely have to have the stories line up 100% accurately for it to be a really good segment. Like, there's parts in the game that kind of explain itself the more you play. For example, the air raid shelter when we're on Victoria Memorial Camp. When we go back there as Sally, or we passed it once and it was closed, but when we come there as Sally, it's open. And there's no explanation. The game just oh yeah, it's open. So it's one of those things you have to chop it up at the time, being like, oh, the game just didn't want you to go there, and now it's open. No real explanation. But then you play as Ollie, and you find out that, oh no, Ollie actually blew that up, and that makes sense. Same with the bombings, right? Like, you find out that the church is all fucked up after you go there as Sally, but it wasn't when you were there as Arthur. And then you find out as Ollie that, yeah, no, it got blown up by the head boys, right? So there's good qualities about it, but like I said, there was definitely inconsistencies along the way. And I definitely think that they should have ironed out those inconsistencies in the story, and that would have polished off the game so fucking well. But like I said, surprisingly, for an open world RPG game that has different acts, it did a really good job. It did feel rushed though, and what I mean by that is, for being in the town, there's really not that much there. It's all an illusion, and I mean, it almost fits in well, considering the fact that that's kind of what the game is. The game is one big illusion, right? Like, you're all living a lie, you're under the influence of joy, you're just trying to forget things. And yeah, okay, I understand that, but and I understand because this game came out in 2016. It was backed on Kickstarter, as you see every time you start the game up, and you may even know if you know the history about this game a little bit, but I definitely think that they could have spent a little bit more time. And I understand they were spending a lot of time. They didn't have the money, but like I said, for what it was, it's really good. But it would have been nicer to see that the game would have been polished a little bit more, where you can go into every building, or you know, like if they don't change the map size at all, but they just let you go into every building, that would make this game so much more in depth. If they don't rush giving you skill points and they added more quests, that would make this game so much more in depth. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely, the game felt rushed, and you can tell by when you play the game and you get X amount of skill points. Like, then we started playing as Sally and we started getting like what, 10-15 skill points, and all of a sudden we started playing as Ollie and we're starting getting 18 skill points. Like, for a singular quest, if you're getting that many skill points, there's definitely something weird going on, especially when you can max out the skill tree relatively easy and have leftover skill points. So I don't know, there's that too. But overall, I would definitely say it was a great game. I definitely did enjoy it. I'm glad I played it. You know, I was hyped for it for a very long time. I got to play it for like a couple of hours, if that, at a friend's house a while ago there, and I did enjoy what I played, and it was the deciding factor for me to get it. However, I didn't get it until more recently. I would say probably about a month ago now, maybe. I picked it up when it was on sale on the summer Steam sale, and I definitely think it was a good addition. I definitely don't agree with the price point though. If I was to pick this game up, I picked it up for like really cheap. I think it was like 80% off, if not more. I definitely wouldn't pay more than 40 bucks for this game, only because, like I said, it doesn't feel like a AAA title. As great as the game is, it's lacking in content. I mean, it's hard for me to say that because it took us, what, 71 chapters to beat the game, so really that's, what, 35 and a half hours? But I mean, it's easy for me to say that, but like I said, if there was more to this game, then I would definitely say, yeah, it's worth it. That's pretty much it though. I mean, I don't really have much more to say on the topic. I don't know what's coming next. So this game does have DLCs. However, I think I want to take a slight break from We Happy Few. You know, I just did 71 chapters. So I may or may not do the DLCs right away, but I probably won't post them right away. I don't know. We'll see. I honestly don't know what's next. I did pick up Metro Exodus, and I've been looking forward to that for a while, but I do have other games on my list. You guys know how it goes. I just haven't had a solid plan on what I want to play for a while. I've been kind of keeping it open, letting you guys choose what we play next on Instagram. When I post, you know, to my story there, I'll say, hey, should we play this or this? And you guys choose, and that's what we play, right? So I don't know. Maybe I'll put it back up for decision. Maybe I won't. In any case, though, that's it for me. I don't have anything else to say, so I'm just going to end it here and let the credits play out. I'm guessing the credits are almost done anyways. And yeah, when we come back, I have no idea what it's going to be next, but I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. Like I said, we definitely will get to the DLCs, so don't worry about that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and say comment down below, subscribe, share as well. It helps me out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Bye. Lovely day for it.
Lovely day for it. Lovely day for it. I don't even know how to tell the truth anymore. Lovely day for it.
Are you joking? It's been shitty all day. Did you not notice the drops of water falling out of the sky? Gonna be shitty tonight too.
You're right. It has been rather a shit day.